Yeah.
Oh.
Yay! We're doing it. Oh my god. This feels so weird.
I know.
Feels so
does,
good.
doesn't it? Hello everyone and welcome to Fem and Futch.
With Riri and Helen.
I'm Riri and this is Helen.
Hi everyone. Yeah, this is our podcast. And we've never done a podcast before, but it's hopefully going to be great. Great fun.
Yeah.
We're kind of going to talk about all things queer, sexuality. We're two lesbians, and I'm cis. I was about to say cis straight woman. Oh my god,
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Hilarious. I am cis lesbian woman, and I've got brunette hair for those of you who are listening rather than watching. I go by she her. Wearing a denim jacket and a top, which is one of my favourites.
What does it say?
It says,
It
behind every great woman is a great woman. I love it. One of my best mates, Vicky, got it for me. So,
Oh,
yeah.
nice. We do love Vicky.
It's a theme. Yeah.
A growing theme. There will be many a t-shirt,
There
I'm
will
sure.
be. I feel like slogans are my vibe.
They're good though. Everyone loves a slogan t-shirt.
Definitely.
It's fine. We do that.
So who are you?
I'm
Riri.
Riri. Or also Riri. We go for Riri.
Okay.
I think Riri is better. Everyone understands Riri.
Love
When
it.
I say Rihanna to people, they just get very confused and they're like, Rihanna? Like
Yeah.
the singer? And I'm like,
I
don't think you could-
Which singer?
Rihanna.
Oh, Rihanna.
Rihanna.
Oh, I was just like, I can't think of a singer called Rihanna.
No, Rihanna. Only the Rihanna.
Oh,
But I
God.
would, like,
Okay.
as flattering as that is, I'm nothing like Rihanna at all.
No.
Not Rihanna. No. Almost the opposite.
Riri works though. I
They're
suppose.
both women. That counts.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah, Riri. I also go by she, her. Also a cis white woman, but a lesbian as well. Both in the same
Describe what you're wearing
description.
for people who are not watching as well.
Pink as always. Pink
Always.
hair. The hair is always pink. Got a nice little pink shirt, pink cardigan today. Got all the pink accessories.
It's great. I love the accessories. It's really
No
good.
slogans.
No
I don't
slogans.
really have a lot of slogans.
It's all good.
shirts,
I'll bring the
but-
slogans, you bring the pink. And,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah. I work in events. And what do? You work
I work in hospitality, so I work at a pub and a
Nice.
restaurant. As a waitress.
And we've been best mates for about 10 years.
Yeah.
So
10 years now.
crazy. But yeah, so on this podcast we're going to be like talking about kind of our coming out stories. We might touch on that today, and then also just kind of like queer culture, queer things. I'm newly out lesbian, so I like very much don't know anything. I hadn't even heard of the L word.
No.
I had to watch
Helen is
all
a
the L
baby
word.
gay.
I am a
You're
baby
still
gay.
a baby gay, but that's fine.
Although I have watched all the L word now, so I
Yeah.
feel like I've graduated.
Yeah. You've even watched more than me now because I've still not watched all of JQ. So
I got very kind of just binge watched.
yeah,
It all,
well,
so-
it is a series to binge watch.
It is. It
and
was.
then rewatch.
It taught me a lot, and I now know who Shane and Dana and Dana, my fave, and Ben, Tina, everyone. Oh,
Pansy.
so good. But yeah, you've obviously been out for a lot longer than me,
Yeah,
but
not a lot longer. Longer, but not a lot longer.
no,
So yeah,
It still took you a little
about
while,
7
so-
years now. Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is our first episode, which is
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
This is something new. We've never done a podcast before,
No.
so we're very excited. You've got like your YouTube channel where you do various different videos and things.
Do look like Helen Explains,
Yes.
talking about talking about kind of like intersectional feminism and like anti-racism stuff, but this is like more queer based. We're going to talk about the fact that we're lesbians because that's the theme of the podcast.
A very big theme in the podcast.
But yeah, we called it Fem and Futch, and should we talk about the name?
Yeah, behind the name. So I mean, like, labels are something that not everyone likes. Some people do like labels though. We're quite comfortable with the labels that we have, that we've given ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, we enjoy those. Like, I think labels are one of those things that if you don't want to identify by them, that's fine. But if you are comfortable identifying by a label, it can be quite, like, liberating because you feel included, like you're part of a group of people. So I think the labels that we choose for ourselves are important because it helps us feel like we are relatable to other people.
I completely agree with that, and I think
Yeah.
it's a really I think it is something that's, especially in the queer community, labels always, like, people kind of like, like identify with their labels, or they gravitate to one label more than another. And yeah, I think it's something that, as you said, like, feel really inclusive, and you're part of the community because you're kind of like, oh, I am too, like, I'm that label as well.
Yeah,
and
like you can
people.
relate to people if they're the same label as you. Not that you have to have a label, but if you do, it can be a way that you can, like, grow with other people.
Yeah. So I suppose femme and foot came from that.
Yeah. So I would definitely, like, identify as a feminine lesbian, straight passing, as some people would like, sort of say. I heard a term the other day though.
Okay.
On someone's podcast, and it was called a ninja lesbian.
Ninja lesbian. Oh my God, I love
lesbian.
that.
So that's like, this is a new one. And I was like, oh my God, what is a ninja lesbian? And then they were like, someone who can go in to the straight world, can infiltrate into the straight world, and pass as, like, a straight person.
Yeah.
So
I love that. Okay, maybe you could be a ninja lesbian.
So I'm a ninja lesbian now as well.
That makes me think of just like
balaclavas. I'm a ninja lesbian, but it's not ninja and fudge. It's femme and fudge.
Yeah.
So.
So if you're the femme, I'm definitely the fudge. And fudge, is quite a cool word, and it's one that I only, like, came up about
recently.
Like, sort of recently, yeah. And it's a combination of femme and butch.
Yeah. And
I'm definitely not kind of a butch lesbian because I do wear makeup, and although obviously butch lesbians can wear makeup, but I kind of identify more as that, like, straight passing. Well, identified, is that the word? Not identify. I gravitate towards more of, like, girly clothes.
By, like, other people.
Yeah.
I might be perceived as.
I don't know. The labels confuse me. As a nearly out lesbian, it's very hard.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. But, like, yeah, so the femme and foot is kind of like, I guess I'm a bit of a tomboy, but I also like wearing makeup, but I'm not kind of like, I'm not a girly girl.
Yeah, like, you would be there in, like, a mini skirt and high heels, but
no,
you're going to be there in, like, a nice outfit, like, with your hair done and your makeup done, but it's just.
And then I put a beanie over the top of it because.
Yeah, but you like a beanie.
I do like a beanie. Not wearing one at the moment, but yeah, do like a beanie.
Next week we'll have a beanie.
Yeah. But yeah, I suppose the femme and foot is really, they're great kind of identifiers. It kind of shows, I think, like, it signifies that it's a lesbian podcast.
I hope so.
We talk about queer stuff.
Because I feel like people that aren't probably in the queer community, they just be like, what is that? What's femme and fudge? Like, what does that mean? Yeah. Whereas, like, if you're someone in the queer community, you're going to be like, oh, they're lesbians.
That's
we
it.
are. Here we are.
So, why we wanted to do a podcast? Ree, it was your idea, wasn't it?
It was. Well, I mean, we both like podcasts. We enjoy
True.
listening to podcasts. We enjoy watching podcasts. That's why we're also filming this one. We don't know how it will turn out, but we will see.
You know, cross platform.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. So we just enjoy listening to podcasts and watching podcasts, so we thought, why not? We'll do our own podcast.
Yeah.
We have a lot to say.
We do.
It's like, I wrote the notes for the podcast and it was like, Helen can talk about politics, she can talk about feminism, she can talk about all of these different things, like working in events, doing this, doing that. And then on the notes I just put, Riri is a Leo.
I mean, as someone who doesn't know much about star signs, no. But, like, I do get that.
It's my answer to a lot of things, like, oh, just a Leo, it's fine. I feel like everyone that knows a Leo will understand.
Yeah, I think though with the podcast, like, obviously it's focusing on, like, being lesbians, and
it's just the life of two lesbians, isn't it?
I think so.
Like, we're just going to bring and share.
And being mates. So should we talk about how we met?
Yeah.
Way back when? I think it was like 10 years ago now.
I don't even know. Well, because I would have been 20. I think I was 19 and 20. I would have been 20 when we met.
More than 10 years then.
So no, 10 years. Yeah.
I'm thinking it was like 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, a decade.
So
how things have changed.
We met through my ex.
Ah, the joy.
Oh, the joy. So many eye rolls. I bet people that, like, watch this and know him will be like, shit, I know which one you mean.
So this was when you were back dating men.
Yes. So I was back before I was out when I was straight.
And I was in a band with this guy.
Yes.
And he was just like, Helen, I've got this new girlfriend. I think you guys would really get on.
Yeah,
I think he was like, oh, she doesn't know many people in like the music kind of scene.
Yeah, because like I was in second year of uni.
Yeah.
I'd only just moved to Leeds like the previous year. So I didn't, although I had like friends at uni and like a housemate that I got on with really well, like I didn't know a lot of people that would like go out to like the same sort of like clubs that I liked, because like I like rock music and like metal and like going to gigs and like live shows and things like that. So I just didn't have anyone in Leeds that I knew that liked doing those sort of things. Like all of my friends at uni just wanted to go out to like the typical like mainstream sort of clubs, which just wasn't my scene. And then so like started going out loads with my housemate, and then that's when I met my ex on a night out in a club. And then so like met him, whatever, we're dating. And then he's in a band, and then he was like, oh, like I've got this best friend called Helen, like you'll love her, you should meet her, like she's really lovely. And I'm like, who is this? Like this girl plays bass, she's all cool, she's all fancy, like who is this? So like I need to find out what's going on here, because I need to know who this girl is so I can like assess and like. So I messaged you. We were going to meet up. You were in second year of uni as well at this point. So both in second year of uni. So I was like, let's meet up. Like, let's go for a drink. Like, maybe have some food or something.
Yeah.
So I arranged to meet up at this pub called Dry Dock in Leeds. Like, everyone that knows Leeds will know it.
Dry
It's
Dock.
like,
and Dry Dock is like, it's literally a boat.
Yeah, it's literally
land.
a canal boat on land that they've like built into a pub.
But a massive
so it is.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very big, but yeah.
It has pictures of like famous people from Leeds all around. Yeah, it has an empty one for Jimmy Savile now.
As it should.
As it should, of course. God, I just remember that. That's like the main thing I remember from Dry Dock, and it was cheap as well.
Yeah, it's very cheap. And on Sundays they used to do 50% off food, which was great when you were hungover. Because we used to go out like Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. So by the time Sunday came round, we were just dying. So we just used to go there, eat loads of food, crawl back home. It's great. But so we were going to meet up.
Yeah.
Went to Dry Dock. And
then we were kind of thinking like,
for lunch.
we
went for lunch.
We'll go for lunch.
We met up at like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Like it was early.
I was literally expecting like, oh, I'll have a few drinks, you know, I'll be nice to this girl because she's my like drummer's new girlfriend.
Yeah, like we'll see how it goes. As well, like he as well was like a player.
Yeah.
And then so when he comes in like, oh, I've met someone and I want you to meet her, you were like, what? Like this doesn't happen. Like he doesn't have girlfriends. He doesn't meet people and settle down. So you were like, okay, like we'll meet this girl then.
100%.
Yeah. So we met here. 7 o'clock in the evening, I get a call from my ex like, where are you? I've just got home from work. And I'm like, I'm with Helen.
Many gins.
We're drunk. We're going out. We're best friends forever. And then here we are.
10 years
10 years later.
Oh, it's been, gosh, I can't believe it's been 10 years.
I know.
But
we've done so much together.
And now we've got a podcast. I think
I
think this will work.
The next 10 years of podcasting.
Who knows?
We'll see how episode 1 goes.
Yeah, so that was kind of how we met. And
never look back.
Hilariously, we're now, neither of us are straight.
No.
You realise that a lot sooner than me.
Yeah. After that relationship.
Yeah.
with that guy, yeah.
I mean, I think that was a pivotal time for you.
Definitely. Yeah, after that I was like, oh, I'm not doing that again.
I remember when, because I was just like, oh, how's it going when you were dating and you've been dating some guys?
Do you remember when I came out to you?
Kind of, yeah. Like, it was a really, like, it was, I think it was over, like, text or something.
Yeah.
And you were just like, oh, yeah, I'm dating this guy. Like, oh, this one's, oh, no, he was awful. Or, like, this one's okay, but nah. And then you were like, I think I'm going to date some girls.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah. But awesome. Yeah. Like, let me know how it goes. This is exciting. And then I think you had a couple of dates, and then you had like one more date with another guy, and then you were like, I think I'm just gonna date girls.
Yeah.
Now. I'm kind of done with men. It was just like, cool. That's you, and you never look back.
No.
I mean, same, but it just took me a lot longer.
Yeah.
It took me a lot longer to get there, but gosh, it was only 2021, so it's been a year and a bit now.
A year and a bit, like not even 2 years yet.
And then, yeah, you'd known for ages.
Like your coming out story to me, and like that is just so funny, because in the past, like with the amount of stuff that we've done together, we've obviously had conversations in the past about like I've seen you been in like multiple relationships with like different people, and it like not work out, and like some like not very nice relationships that you've been through as well, and like seeing you have to go through all of them, and like witness some of the things as well.
So, crying.
Like, yeah, witnessed a lot of drunk crying. There's been many a drunken night, which is fine. Yeah. It happens. And then we had a few conversations multiple times when you were drunk about maybe dating girls as well. And your sort of like view on it from that point was kind of like, oh yeah, maybe. And then I think you just never really thought about it. And as well, when you drink, you don't remember the next day. A lot of the like deep emotional conversations we have, you don't remember. So like sometimes I remind you of them, and then sometimes I don't. Like if I ever want to ask you and get an honest answer, I just ask you when I'm drunk, and then if it upsets you, I just don't bring it up again, and then I know how you feel. It's fine.
I mean, I think that speaks volumes, because it was obviously like, you know, drunk mind speak. What was it? Drunk heart speaks mind.
True words.
True. Yeah. I can't remember the phrase. Anyway, that phrase. When you're drunk, you're literally speaking the truth, and kind of it all comes out.
Like what's in your soul? Like, drunk, you just lets it out.
It just comes out, and then I don't know. It was never really on my radar, and I don't know, the whole like compulsive heterosexuality. I just thought I had to be on that kind of page, and I was like, it's not. It's
always like it's not another option, isn't it? But it is. But it's like...
But it was never open to me as an other option. It never, like, occurred to me. It just felt like I was dating the wrong guys, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm just choosing the wrong men. Yeah. Clearly, I just need a different one. Yeah. And I went through a phase it was before lockdown, when I'd started dating again. It was about a year after my last relationship, and then I just dated loads of really, really different men. Like it was like you could
just like
a lucky dip.
Choose any,
And I was like, you'll do, cool, you'll do, do. Going on these dates and just being like, this is not a vibe.
I don't like any of them. They're all different, but you can't find one that you like.
So then lockdown came around, and it definitely, it gave me like a bit more focus, gave me some more time to actually just sit with myself and just be like,
what do you actually want?
Questioned a lot of my relationships, and was just like, I just don't think I'm dating the right gender, essentially.
The realisation.
Yeah. So I downloaded Her and just got very overwhelmed by talking to women, and it was a lot, but then and I had some dates with one woman, and it was great, and that kind of eased me in. And then I met my current partner, and they're awesome. So they're actually non-binary, and but they identify as a lesbian, and I've been with them just over a year now, which is just crazy. So but it's just like it feels so right now, and it just feels
it's like you reach that moment where you're like, oh, I understand what people are talking about now. Like when I was younger, and my friends would like have conversations and like talk about sex and like talk about this and talk about that and talk about like the way that they felt like with their partners, with their boyfriends, and I'd just be like, I don't feel like that. I don't want to do that.
Brilliant.
Like, why do I not feel the same? Like, why do I not get like excited about that? Or why do I not like that? Or why do I not want to do that? Like thinking about doing that, like physically repulses me. But they're over there like living their best life, and I'm like, is there something wrong with me? And then I remember like the first date I went on with a girl, and I was like,
this is it.
I'm feeling all of the things that they're saying, but it's with a girl, and now it all makes sense.
Ding, 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 ding.
It's a light bulb moment. Goes off in your head.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember talking to my current partner and just being like, this just feels so good, and like I couldn't like stop saying how good it felt, because it just like and not just with sex or anything, just with like just in their company. It just felt so equal, and we felt like we were on the same page, and it just felt really...
you connect, as you should do, with the partner that you're in love with.
Completely.
Yeah. So we had a few conversations when you were drunk about, like, how maybe, like, try to date girls, like, see how that goes. And you were always just a bit like, yeah, I'm open to that. But then you just never really did anything about it, which is fine, because you also weren't aware that you could. So... Yeah.
And then I think initially when I came out, like, a few years ago, I thought I was bisexual, and obviously bisexuality is completely valid identity, but that wasn't me, and I think it was a stage that I was...
It's almost like a bridge between that sort of helps make you feel like more relaxed about it, because I think for me as well, like, I was in the same situation. It's confusing to say to another lesbian that you are a lesbian but has never had a relationship with a woman and has only ever been with men. So if you said to another lesbian, like, oh, I've never dated girls but I'm a lesbian, they're going to be like,
hang on though,
are you?
But before you have any dates with, like, men, like, people know that they're straight.
Yeah.
And I think you can just know that you're a lesbian from, like, word go, and it doesn't invalidate your identity if you haven't had any relationships with women or dated women or anything.
But it can feel like it does.
I totally get that it feels like that.
Yeah, because, like, I literally had, like, the first girl I went on a date with, she was like, well, how do you know? Like, I mean,
really?
I'm not just an experiment to you, like, to try out being gay. And, like, in my heart was like, God, no, like, of course not, no, like, it was just,
That's, like, that... Oh, I'm really sad that happens, because, like, you shouldn't be questioning someone else, being like, well, how do you know? Like, you're like, well, I'm here, I'm dating women, I'm dating you. Yeah. Like, surely this is proof enough. But I guess there was a lot of, like, a kind of bi curiosity, and then obviously there's, like, lesbianism could be, like, fetishized, and people can do it for show, or just for male attention.
Which is a very big topic.
Funny, we should say that's maybe another, like, that's maybe a whole episode.
Another episode all about that.
Yeah. But I do remember actually one of my first dates with someone, with a woman, she was probably, I think she'd been out for years and years, and it felt suddenly when she, like, realised I was literally the first date that I'd ever been on with a woman, she kind of... Actually, she kind of got... It was a bit of a similar in the sense of, like... Not that she didn't explicitly say, how do you know? It was a bit kind of like...
But you can almost see the cogs turning. Yeah. Like, oh, like the realisation of, like...
Once you do this, then, like, you'll never look back. And it's just like, oh, I haven't done anything. Like, this is just... this is all new to me. But this is definitely not an experiment. Yeah. But... Obviously, you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is one of the harder things about coming out later in your life. Because if the first experience I ever had was, like, with a woman, then I'd be more nervous about it being my first experience than, like... Yeah. It being with a woman.
That's true.
But then, like, when you're younger, like, if you don't know that you're gay, you're just automatically gonna choose men. Because that's what everyone else does.
That's society.
Yeah. That's what it did to us. If I knew that lesbians existed when I was younger, I would have been one then.
See, I think I knew they existed, but I just didn't think that was... I don't know.
Like, when I was in high school, I had one friend that was gay.
Yeah.
And she, like, had a really rough time. So, like, literally the only lesbian I knew had a very, very, very extremely hard life. So I was like, well, why would I want to be a lesbian? Because she's gay, she's got all of these horrible things happening to her. Because also, as well, it was when I used to go to church. So it's like,
oh God, and that's
Jesus
another...
does not love her.
That's another level.
This is why.
And that's for another episode. That's
to get into a big long episode for that.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah.
No, it's weird actually. I don't think I really knew any lesbians growing up. However, I have seen, like, since, you know, like, you're friends with Facebook, like Facebook friends with people from secondary school, and you're kind of like, oh, well, you're gay now, and you're gay now. I mean, I went to an all-girls school.
Oh, yeah. Like, so there's more at yours than there was at mine.
It was a small all-girls school, but yeah, there's a couple. Like, so many people, though, are getting married and having babies, which is amazing for them.
Yeah, for them.
But I'm like, I'm gay now. Cool. I'm just going to come out instead. And I kind of wish I'd known, because I was 29 just before my 30th birthday, when I was like, no, this this is for me, and I really wish I'd known like 10 years earlier, because it would have saved a lot of
heartache.
tears.
But then it's like, would we have gone through the similar sort of heartbreaks that we did, but with women? And I think yes, but I would have rather gone through them with a woman than a man.
Yeah.
That's how I think about it now. I'd rather it would have been a woman, but it wasn't, so what can we do?
What can we do? We're here now.
Yeah, we're here now and it's fine.
That's amazing.
So I had a plan. My plan was Fletcher.
And wait, what was this plan? This was to drag me.
Yeah,
drag
this
me
was
out
to
the
drag you out of the closet. But
I mean,
it sounds so nasty when I say it like that. I'm going to make Helen be gay.
But it was the
It's
nicest
not.
possible
It's
way.
helping you understand that you'll have a happier life if you're comfortable with your identity. So I had a plan. So in 2019, I bought tickets to go and see Fletcher.
And I was like, Fletch who?
Who's Fletcher? Helen did not know who our Lord and Saviour was at this time.
And for anyone who doesn't know who Fletcher is, like, where have you been? Fletcher is lesbian royalty.
Yeah.
She's a singer, sort of messy, chaotic lesbian that we all aspire to be.
Yes, yeah, she's amazing. Like she's a pop singer. Like a little bit poppy, rocky. Like when you go and see her live, it's a lot rockier.
Yeah.
Like we were like so pleasantly surprised about how like almost like heavy it was when we went to see Fletcher. Like well,
It's heavy sugar.
Heavy. It's not, no, but they won't know who they are, Helen.
Oh, yeah, sorry. It's no heavy metal.
No.
But no, it was like, yeah, it was.
It's like it's not as poppy when you go and see her live. It's great.
Yeah.
We do love Fletcher.
And she just, and what's so great about her is she's kind of unabashedly just a gay woman who is singing about all her messy relationships and singing about women in her songs, which is just really, it's something that I'd never heard before.
No.
And it's just, it was very, very new to me, but she's doing it in a really kind of accessible way. She's definitely going more mainstream now, which is fantastic, it's just pushing, more queer kind of pop icons and people into the mainstream media to make it
what we need. We are normal.
Influence.
We're here. We're out there.
I mean, if I'd had like Fletcher growing up,
then
I would have been out so much sooner.
I know, me too.
Anyway, so what was your plan?
So my plan was to take you to a Fletcher gig. And I was like, I'm going to get Helen, take her to a Fletcher gig. We're all going to get drunk. She's going to have a lovely time. She's going to meet a nice lady. She's going to come out. So that was my plan.
And have a realisation.
Yeah, you're going to come out of the closet at a Fletcher gig. Because, like, where else are you going to do it?
I mean,
so
you definitely planted the seed, because you were like, I've got us tickets, and I had I think I bought a ticket as well, didn't I?
Yeah.
Because I had no idea. And
I messaged you and I was like, I've bought 4 tickets to this gig. Come with me. Like, I've got, like, one of the tickets is for you.
Yeah.
Come with me. We'll go. It'll be great. And you were like, great, I've just bought a ticket. And I was like, no, Helen, I bought your ticket, but it's fine. It worked out well in the end. Because like when we did eventually go, because I bought the tickets in 2019, and then it was for 2020, and then COVID happened. So in 2022,
we finally
went to see it.
It was May, beginning of May, 2022, in Manchester, and I'd already come out, but it was like being at a Fletcher concert is just it was so kind of weird and quite overwhelming for me as well, because you're just surrounded by so lesbians. Many queer people, and
like,
predominantly
in that
lesbians.
Room, I don't think there was one straight man.
It was pretty much everyone was queer, and it was just it was a really lovely atmosphere, and I love the way Fletcher was like, this is a safe space, you know,
it was.
I'm here for you, and it was emotional.
It was.
But and now I know her so much better. I know her songs. I went to the gig being like, I kind of vaguely know Bitter.
Sort of thing,
and then that was about it. But now I know the full album. And we're going to see her again, aren't we?
We are. We literally just got tickets yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. It was so stressful trying to get these tickets, and I nearly had a breakdown. But then I didn't, and we got tickets in the end.
So that was Fletcher. Fletcher had such a massive influence on, kind of like probably subconsciously had quite an influence on me coming out. But then obviously the fact that I was out when I went to the gig,
Just made it so much better.
And then you told me about your plan afterwards, and you were like,
And then you were like, that would have worked. If I'd not got there on my own,
I know.
the plan would have worked. It would have been good though. It was a great plan.
It was it was just it was an amazing show. So looking forward to seeing her again. But what do we hope for this podcast?
I mean, for the future. I feel like
future episodes.
I mean, we can learn from each other. We can all learn together. I'm excited to just chat about stuff, chat about life. Like, what is it like to be lesbians in our early 30s? What have we gone through in life? Like, how we can share, how we can help other people.
I think we've both got quite, it'd be great to talk about our parents as well, because we've got quite different parents and upbringings, and I think it would be, and obviously having those different experiences about coming out, and then obviously dating. Like, I haven't got much experience dating, kind of went straight into a relationship.
I have a bit more.
You can give us our do's and don'ts, all the tips for what not to do.
Yeah, generally in life, not just dating.
I mean, and just all things queer. We hope you're going to have a few guests sometime.
Yeah, that's fine. We know some interesting people as well. It's always nice to get people on.
Yeah,
have a chat with some other people.
Because I think there's more and more queer stuff popping up, queer events, and
we should definitely take the podcast on tour as well.
Take it on tour.
That would be cool. Some events. We will be talking about lots of
everything, all things queer.
All things queer. All things life.
Yeah, and maybe doing a bit more of a deep dive into some subjects.
Definitely.
Or some topics.
We would like to have podcasts that are more topic focused about one specific thing rather than more general. But we will do that. We'll definitely do that. We've got a lot of topics that we want to discuss. So I'm excited. Excited to learn and grow.
Yay! First podcast done.
Woo! I know. Hope you like it.
Enjoy, follow us on social media. We're on YouTube as well. And if you want to email us, you can email us. Get in touch if you've got any questions. Our 2 listeners.
I'm going for 3. Maybe we'll get 3.
Okay.
Getting more than 5, it's going to be great. We know more than 5 people.
That's fine. Yeah. Both our partners and our best mates. And our workmates. Sorted.
It's fine.